Hello everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom. Welcome along to part 2 of this week's Championship preview shows. 3-game week, we had 5 last night, we've got 7 tonight, so we won't talk too much in review about the action last night. I'm sure it will get mentioned in passing, but we'll focus in on the 7 games that happened tonight. Just quickly to say, last night was a good night for West Brom. Their lead, is now 10 points over third place with 11 for them to go. Remember, Fulham play tonight, we'll talk about them in a second. It was a good night for Nottingham Forest, who are currently in third place, so they've thrown the gauntlet down to Fulham. It was a bad night for Preston, 4 without a win for Preston. And down the bottom, I was there, was a good night for Luton. Luton have got 9 points in the last 4 games. Holy moly. Huddersfield also moved away. I'm looking at the bottom 7 now, and yes, a few are due to play tonight, but I'm seeing win, and 1 defeat from, they've all won those games. So if you are a believer that FFP is going to strike fear into the hearts of Derby and Sheffield Wednesday, then the whole of that bottom raising up is not good for them. Shame for Luton that Huddersfield won, but the needle is being moved at the bottom of the table. Let's get on to tonight. So Leeds are our top ranked team playing tonight. Leeds in second spot. They are off to Middlesbrough. Not sure about Kiko's hand, not sure about Calvin Phillips. I don't know whether Bielsa has said anything in the presses. Jasper says, come on Leeds, 3 points tonight. Leeds in really nice form, 7 points in the last 3, in a sense that things are coming back around. They can increase the gap if they win tonight and Fulham do not win. The gap will be 6 points with obviously 11 to go. Richard says it's time Leeds. John says worried about Borough. Look where Borough have ended up. They're 21st, so 1 off the relegation zone. They've got the hardest game anybody has got tonight, and it looks like they've been sucked back in now. Luton have had that little splurge, so they're up to 33. Wigan are in 22nd on 34. Barnsley, despite 2 wins on the trot, are bottom on 31. So it's all moved on a little bit. I was talking about points parity. 1 point per game will keep you up. Borough are just above that. Steve says we need Phillips to be fit. So Ben White finished the game in central midfield against Reading, so it'll be interesting. And we'll probably find out while we are streaming tonight whether Phillips does play, because it's 6:25 now, and I'm sure some of those teams will be going through while I'm still waffling away on here. Either way, not looking good for Borough at all. Only 8 wins this season. In fact, only Barnsley have won less games in the division than Borough, and you can't see this. I know Leeds fans won't like me predicting it. You can't see this going any other way than a Leeds win, can you? They've been tighter the last few games. If I'm right, I think it's 1 conceded, which was that fast from Kiko, wasn't it? And then 2 clean sheets on the bounce. Needown says Bielsa, hopeful both will be available. You'd assume if Phillips is in, Leeds are going to win this one, and which, depending on what Wigan and Barnsley do, really could put Borough in trouble. John says appointing Woodgate seems to have been an absolute terrible decision. I can't disagree with that, judging by where they are in the table, but what I would say to John's comment is I don't really know where else Gibson was going to go. He seems to have tried everything in the Championship. The parachute payments had run out, so he went for in-club unproven guy, and it's not working at the moment, is it? Needham says, oh yes you can, it's Leeds, don't forget. Still good news you're not going. No, I don't think I can make Middlesbrough on a Tuesday night, sadly, but let's go for a Leeds win, which I will write down so I know what I've predicted for all of these. Hey, I didn't do badly last night. I had West Brom Preston draw. I had Brentford away win. I had Forest to win at Cardiff. And I had QPR to beat Derby. It was around 2 out of 5. There you go. Especially that Forest Cardiff. That wasn't a bad call. Well, so we'll go for Leeds to win this one. On to Fulham. Ozzy says, I only watched Ben in the past while he is live. Gets confusing, doesn't it? The world eating itself. Back to the future. Fulham are at home to Swansea. Fulham pretty poor against Derby. I thought I was at that game, and then Mitrovic bails them out. Swansea, one win in that last 6 that I am looking at. Should be open. You would think that Swansea would probably be creative enough to make openings, but maybe not robust enough to keep Fulham out. That said, if Fulham play at the low tempo, yeah, John says perfect game for Fulham. I think I agree. If Fulham play at the low tempo they did at Derby, then Swansea will put something on them. But I think Fulham are going to be okay in this one. So I can see both Leeds and Fulham winning tonight, which isn't good news for Forest, who Forest is still in that automatic picture, aren't they? You look at Brentford and Preston, only 3 points and 2 points in the last 3 games for them. Maybe just slipping off it, especially if Leeds win tonight. Preston will be 9 points behind them, so will Brentford. And it's going to be looking. Games are running out now, aren't they? By the end of this weekend, it's going to be 10 to go. ST says Fulham have been wobbling recently. Yes, they have. They need to get their act together. And if you've looked at their running, this is actually one of the easier games of their running. Still got a lot of that top 7 to play, and a trip to Leeds as well. Fulham, that could be very decisive one way or the other, couldn't it? But I think Fulham should have enough. Nidow says Mitrovic's class gets the service. Do you know what, Nidow? He actually doesn't even get that much service and still bangs in goals. John says Brentford and Preston out of the automatic hunt. Starting to look that way, isn't it? It's starting to look very much like December all over again, when those gaps were opening up big style for Leeds and West Brom. Look, West Brom especially are killing it. That is 16 points in the last 6. Superb run at this time of the season. Possibly decisive promotion winning run, isn't it? And only 1 point off 2 points per game now. I've been moaning about that all season, haven't I? So someone's close. Brentford played last night. Preston played last night. Bristol City played last night. 3rd straight defeat for Bristol City down at Huddersfield as well. Huddersfield needed that win. So we'll talk about that in the review show, possibly tomorrow night, maybe Friday, whenever I get round to it. Busy. Oh, Andrews on says, if Fulham do well in these sort of games against the top 6, it sort of counts as double as you're gaining whilst tape. Yeah, Andrew's right. That is the one thing Fulham have in their favour, that if they do win their games, they're going to damage teams around them. Obviously, though, playing teams around them, it's going to be harder because it's all top 6 games. But we've said all season about Fulham, they've got the squad to do it, haven't they? Stephen says 3 Yorkshire derbies followed by Cardiff away, then Fulham at home. That will define the season. So next 5, I think Stephen said, thinks we can define Leeds on. And yeah, of course, there'll only be 6 to go at that point. So we are on to Blackburn, who are at home to Stoke. You know, that's a pretty handy game for Blackburn, and they can close to within 2 points of Preston. If I'm Stoke, though, I'm worried now. So Stoke are 20th, 3 wins in the last 6, which is decent enough, but down the bottom, everybody has done that. Literally everybody. Now Luton have come to the party as well. Look at that entire bottom 7, all apart from Huddersfield, who have 2 wins, have 3 wins in the last 6 games. Borough have none. So there we go. Martin says, great after-match report. Thank you. Yeah, interesting. Check out my report from the Luton game. Interesting tactical battle there. And for you guys who support playoff teams, Luton let Ben Rama and Buemo have the ball, backed off them, and let things clutter up, and they couldn't play through. It's almost like they prefer to go up against them. Needham says, worried about Stoke now, I've been worried about them last two. A fair comment. My point being, I thought Michael O'Neill had surged up, but everybody, the tide has risen for everybody. Blackburn are in good form. Stoke are just outright weird, aren't they? Let's go for a draw. I know Blackburn do well at home. Blackburn in form. Just Stoke is just hard to predict. So we'll go for a draw. Blackburn versus Stoke. We've spoken about Swansea. Cardiff played last night. Daniel says, tough game for Rovers tonight. I don't like these. Think we'll win, but it will be tight. As I've said on the last few shows now, I think Blackburn in 8th, and tell me whether you agree or not, would be one of the best managerial performances in the whole division, given what he's got and the injury to Dak, etc., etc. I think that's really good performance by Mowbray. If they've, to be honest, to finish in the top 10, I think that's really impressive stuff by old Mogger, an Ipswich Town favourite of ours, obviously. Right, we are down. Cardiff lost at home, didn't they? So we're down to Millwall, who, I don't know why I turned into Boise from Only Fools and Horses then. Millwall. Millwall versus Birmingham. Police will enjoy that one, won't they? Millwall tailed off, and Birmingham actually in really nice form, aren't they? Difficult one to call, this one. Birmingham undefeated there in the last 6. Couple of draws in there. Jutkovic and Hogan look really good up front. Millwall, though, do well at home. Don't know. Let's check Birmingham's away record in here, see if we can get anything out of that. 10th best away record, 7 defeats. Millwall home record, only 3 defeats. Both quite tight. Let's sit on the fence and be boring and go for a draw in this one. Both teams to score, probably. John says Hogan and Duke scored something like 7 and 4 combined. That's a good point. They are likely to get on the score sheet, Blues. But then again, so are Millwall in any game they play. So let's go for a draw in that one. No help to either team, but allows me to sit my arse right on the fence. Rob says Millwall 4-0. 40-1. Carl says Marlene. Very nice. Very good. Play it cool, Trig. Little Crow, Millwall can't be happy with a draw. Need to get the promotion push. Little Crow still in for the promotion push. Millwall, if they were to lose tonight, oh no, it doesn't matter because top 6 already played. So a win for Millwall does actually put them back in. He is right. There would be 4 points off, but it starts to get very trafficky, stodged up, if you know what I mean. John says draw, but fancies to nick it too when he's a Blues fan. QPR played last night, they won, so they have moved into the top half. Sheffield Wednesday, God, what is Sheffield Wednesday doing? They are at home to Charlton. Let's actually just click in on Wednesday's form, because I think since they beat Leeds, they've been utterly terrible, haven't they? Let's have a little looky here and actually get the last few Wednesday results up. Lost 5-0 at home to Blackburn, 2-1 away at Wigan, drew 0-0 with Millwall, drew 1-1 with Barnsley, lost at Luton, lost at home to Reading. The other thing is as well, they conceded 3 goals in those past couple of games as well. Needown says Charlton win all day long. Charlton have been in good form, but this doesn't strike me as the sort of Lee Bowyery type, Charlton-y, Winnie type game, if you know what I mean. I'm not seeing it, but then Wednesday are so rubbish at the moment, aren't they? Charlton 3 wins in the last 5 is very good. They had that away win as well at Forest, didn't they? Which not many expected. Otherwise, it was home ones against Barnsley and Luton. Really important wins there to keep their distance. Do you know what? I think Sheffield Wednesday are going to win. I don't know why. I just don't see Charlton go there and winning. John says Fletcher back for Wednesday makes a huge difference. Agree. Neatown says only because I like laughing at Wednesday. Some Schadenfreude going on here. Does look for Wednesday and Barnsley though, with that rising tide at the bottom. God, they're only 8 points now. 8 points off 21st. If Wigan were to win, you're now looking at a 9-point deduction, actually dropping you into the relegation zone. So this FFP stuff, God, when's the international break? I think that's when it's gonna go down, isn't it? John says when they get to 12 points, they'll be in trouble. If there's aggravated issues, it will go above 9 points, won't it? So Eek. Actually need some results Wednesday and Derby, and I just noticed Derby have only got 2 points in the last 4, and they've been playing well, hadn't they? Who's the ginger midfield for Wednesday? He's a good lad, can't remember his name, don't know. Wouldn't be much of a surprise. I'll comment about Fulham. 12 this season, 9 next is what I heard. Oh, they're going to split it. That would be controversial, wouldn't it? Lots of people would appeal against that, I think. Moving on, let's go for a Sheffield Wednesday win then. We've done Derby, we've done Birmingham. What are Reading doing? Reading are all. That's quite a nicely set game, that. Reading versus Wigan. Reading had that brilliant run, didn't they, when Bowen first came? They've tailed off badly. Did get a win 2 games back at Wednesday, but then went and lost at Leeds. Mr. E says Reading have been very poor at home last few months. Wigan, look at their points for the last 6 games. That's decent. That's 11 points from the last 6. That's really nice form. Even if you're chasing the playoffs, that'll do you, won't it? 11 from 6. So Wigan playing quite well. I think it goes against Wigan because they're rubbish away from home. You know what will probably happen? John says can see Wigan winning that. You know the sort of thing Wigan would do is take the lead either once or twice in this game and then draw it in the last minute or something of that nature. You can see them being unlucky. Wigan only 2 away wins this season. How are Reading looking at home? Oh, Reading have the worst home record in the league with 20 points from 16 games. Do we go for a Wigan win? Look, I'm gonna stick with my gut and say Wigan will take the lead. Oh, Little Crow says, there you go, that's handy. Wigan dropped 31 points from winning positions, apparently. I know those stats are a little bit disingenuous because you actually got to finish the game, obviously, but it does say a lot that they can't hold on to these leads and get into them. Mark says, love the channel, Ben. Did you ever play football? Watching as always from St. Pete, lovely. I was rubbish at football. I'm a musician. Not very many people are good at both, apart from Serge from Kasabian, who always seems to score worldies on Soccer AM, doesn't he? No, I very much enjoyed playing football, but I'm not a sportsman, sadly. Much prefer watching it. That said, let's go for a draw then. But Wigan to take the lead and not win. I think we are going for. Right, have I missed anyone? I haven't done Hull yet. What are Hull doing? Hull versus Barnsley. That's interesting setup as well. Barnsley have got 2 straight wins, and Hull are dreadful. Sans, Bowen, and Grzycki. Ryan Bennett has a bit of talent in both. Interesting. Do I play the guitar as well? I can play a bit of ukulele. I'm all right drummer, but no, mainly piano. Rob says Hull draw, quite possibly. I kind of want Barnsley to win just to make it all very interesting. If that does happen, imagine Barnsley and Wigan win. I know Luton won't like that, but it'll be 33, 36, 37, 37, 39, 39. John says Hull could drop into this as others picking up. Now, John is right there because I said a few weeks ago, oh, teams like Hull on that total will be safe. That hadn't anticipated that all of the bottom 7 other than Middlesbrough were going to win 3 in the next 6, which just, there's no evidence for that. It hadn't happened all season. That's why they're in the... So maybe he's right. Maybe Hull do need to stick a win or 2 on the board soon. They have not done so since the 2 wonderful wide players left. And their results are pretty terrible. Let me just get Hull up to have a look at for a minute. Jesus Christ. I'll include an FA Cup one in here. Lost at home to Fulham, lost away to Derby, lost at home to Chelsea in the Cup, lost at home to Huddersfield, lost 5-1 at home to Brentford. That was the first one without Bowen and Grzycki. Drew at Reading, thrashed at Blackburn, 4-4 against Swansea, lost at Preston. Come on, let's go for this one. Let's go for it. Let's say Barnsley for the win. John was just floating out a huge points total there for safety. It might get quite high if these results continue, isn't it? I cannot fathom this because obviously as an Ipswich fan I followed this closely last year down the bottom, and all it took was Reading to win sort of a few games when Nelson Oliveira signed. That got them out of it, and Wigan to win a couple of home games. Needham says the bottom 6 have picked up just in time for Leeds. There we go. Trigger Nation says, am I going to any more Leeds games for the rest of the season? Luke says, hope not. And I say, smile guys, because I'm going to Hull versus Leeds on Saturday. Come on, Hull are terrible. It's nothing to do with me. By the way, speaking of curses and my presence, I've been to Luton 4 times this year and they've got 8 points. Bear in mind Luton are 23rd in the league and have a points per game of less than 1. They're twice as good when I'm there. So let's just flip this on its head and say that I'm not the curse of Leeds. I'm the lucky charm of Luton. And amazingly as well, I had a ticket for Luton Charlton as well and couldn't make it down there for tired or ill or something like that. And they won that one as well. So I could have been even hotter on that, 11 points from 5, but it didn't happen. Andrew says, my record at Fulham's been amazing. Yes, God, when was the last time I saw Fulham lose? Because I did the playoffs with them. It would have been playoff first leg, Andrew. They lost the first leg, didn't they? If I had to put my house on, will West Brom and Leeds mess it up? I'd put my house on no if I had to, but I wouldn't put my house on any bet that involved a championship team. Let's just say I was invested in Brentford winning last night at that game, and that did not happen, and I tipped some friends off. Good answer, says Luke. Right, I think we are all there. We've done all of the teams. So if my predictions come in, I think Leeds and Fulham both going to tighten it up. Blackburn possibly for the draw, and I've predicted a Barnsley win and a Wigan draw. So a bit more squishing up. Needham says, have I seen all the clubs in the Championship? Do you know, this season I have not. Who have I not seen? Stoke, Hull. Oh, I'm seeing Hull on Saturday. I'm seeing Hull lose to Leeds. There you go, Leeds fans. Don't think I've seen Wigan either. So there's 2 or 3. Oh, Blues. John's right. I haven't seen Blues. Saw Blues loads last season as well, didn't I? Next stop, South Bermondsey. You have to do the game, Richard. Do enjoy. Any questions? Get them in the chat, and we'll answer them now. Can anyone tell me which game is on Sky or Now TV on the red button? That will be good to watch. Wouldn't it be ironic if Leeds won promotion at Derby, second last game of the season? Yes, it will. Evil Adam says, any more songs? Yes, I've done a Sabri Lamouchi song. It's in the work. Andrew says, Fulham v Blues at the Cottage. That could be good. Millwall v Blues. Yeah, that could be good as well. I have a question. Costa or Cavaliero? Who got the best Wolves player? Oh, that's a good question, isn't it? That's really hard to answer, actually. Because there's a sense both of them haven't been as good as when they were at Wolves, and I think I'll go for Cavaliero just for output, although Costa has improved steadily. Just remember when playing for Bielsa, it's so specific. How does Ellen Road compare to Villa Park? Villa Park just edges it, I think, Luke, just on the basis of that small stand at the end of Leeds. There's that gargantuan stand, but I personally find Villa Park quite a special ground. Leeds is great, but just that one stand kind of lets it down a little bit, doesn't it? Right, if there are no more questions, then I will bid you all farewell, and we'll enjoy the football tonight and try and get on for a review tomorrow. There will be another silly song. Martin says, hoping Izzy Brown back Saturday. Well, you didn't need him, did you, Martin? Luke burying his free kicks, but yes, probably could have won by more maybe if they'd had Izzy Brown. And my phone lights up with team news. Shall we just check and see if Mr. Phillips and Mr. Casilla are playing for Leeds? I'm sure. Millwall Blues is the Sky game. Okay. Sounds good to me. We've got Wednesday teams. We've got Birmingham teams. God, I could go through all of these, couldn't I? I will not. We'll find out in due course, won't we? Right, thank you everybody for watching. Follow on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. Ring the bell, hit subscribe, whichever way around, hit subscribe, ring the bell, and we'll see you very, very soon. Needham says, have I still got my black and white coach? Yes, I have. Robbie says, sorry, what was the Reading Wigan? I went for a draw, Robbie. Can I miss you when we go up? We'll still keep in there, don't you worry, Luke. Right, thank you everybody for watching. See you soon.